Hello, welcome to the Warframe First Step Guide for new players. Today, we are going to be going over the easiest credit form for a new player. Now, in regards to credit farming in Warframe, if you ask anybody what's the best credit form, most people will direct you towards the index on Neptune. But if you're a new player, I'm just going to assume you don't have access to Neptune. And as you saw there, we only have 93 credits currently. And if you head over to Neptune, you can see this index node, and it's basically arena. But in order to even get in here, it requires a 30K investment. And then on top of that, once you're inside, you might still get your ass whooped if you don't know what to do. The method I'm about to show you can be done right after you obtain an archwing, and we're going to be running it with this mediocre ass build here. So this is what I have on my Excalibur. This is my first step build. This is what I have on my Ignis. And a lot of people will probably ask, well, why are you running that on your build? Well, first of all, I don't have prime mods yet. And second of all, I'm going to get better variants of these weapons later. And later I will also obtain Excalibur Umbra, so your Warframe is really kind of irrelevant for now. What you want to do is head over to your navigation, and this little ship bar in the menu, click on that because that's going to take you to the Railjack star chart. So from here, what you basically want to do is just join any random crew, because if you're a new player, you probably do not have a Railjack yet, right? But you can still random queue with other players. And I'm about to show you almost everything that you should be doing as a new player on Railjack. So as you can see, I have boarded this guy's Railjack, and he's currently engaged in a little skirmish. So this section right here, this is going to be the first turret on his ship. You can man this turret, or you can man this turret over here, and the last turret is you can man this one right across from it. But that's not necessarily what we're going to be doing, but I'll show you what it looks like just in case you don't feel too confident in doing what we're about to do. You can always just sit here on this turret the entire time, but that is boring, and it will take you much longer if you don't just follow the steps I'm about to show you. So that's one option you have, being on someone else's Railjack. Option number 2 is you can be attack and repair, meaning anyone that boards the Railjack, you can simply dispatch the enemies and repair any damages that may have occurred as a result of that. Next, I'm going to go in my gear wheel, and I'm going to equip my Omni. Your Omni will be in your gear wheel automatically, so don't worry about that, but your Omni is basically used for repairing any damages to the ship that may have occurred as a result of being invaded. But next, if you go down here, this is your forge area. This is where, if the ship's resources are running dry, you basically just use resources you accumulated on the mission to restore your ship's resources. But we don't necessarily have to worry about that right now because we're here for credits. And so that's option number 2. Option number 3 is what you should be doing in order to help out a lot more and make this process go a lot faster. And people will be grateful because of that. So if we look at this little hole in the floor, right? This is going to allow us to go out in space and get directly involved in the battle, but we're not going to get directly involved. What you want to do is you want to find the cruise ship. The cruise ships can usually soak up a lot of damage, but if you enter through the back bottom side, you'll be able to enter directly into the cruise ship. And once you enter into the cruise ship, you don't necessarily have to kill any enemies. What you want to do is destroy this reactor. Once you destroy this reactor, it'll destroy the ship, and it'll make the whole process go a lot faster. And as you can see, my weapons don't seem to do a lot of object damage because object damage is totally separate from your build. But I was able to go in there and basically 3-tap it with my melee weapon, so keep that in mind. On harder level versions of this, sometimes the generator will be shielded, so you will have to hack a terminal right under the generator before you're able to deal damage to it. And in that scenario, as a new player, that's where it's good to have ciphers or energy restores. That way you can use your abilities. But I'm going to exit the ship and I'm going to head directly to the objective right here. So upon boarding this asteroid, you'll have another objective, and your objective is basically to expose the radiator. But in order to expose the radiator, what you want to do is make your way to the objective marker indicated, and that's going to take you to the terminal. Once you reach that terminal, you're going to have to hack it, and that should expose the radiator on the outside of the asteroid, or it should expose some cores on the inside. So in this case, I'm going to radio blind just to stun lock any enemies in the area. I'm going to hack the terminal, and what it does is it exposes the radiator outside. So at this point, you want the pilot to shoot the radiator, but unfortunately the pilot I got is kind of a dimwit, and he followed me in here even though he didn't actually complete his part of the objective. But it looks like he realizes what he's doing, so I'm just gonna wait right here for him to return to the Railjack, and we're gonna hack the next terminal. And once we do that, it's gonna expose another objective that we're gonna need to destroy. But if you are doing this solo, it's a lot of back and forth, returning to your ship just to shoot the generator, only to exit your railjack and fly back in here to hack a terminal and destroy a core, only to head back to your ship to do it all again. So it makes it really convenient when there's a second player in here, because the second player can kind of just hang out in here until you destroy the objective. And once you destroy the objective, it'll reveal your next terminal that you need to hack, right? So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna hack this terminal. And once I hack this terminal, it should expose the next radiator that needs to be destroyed. And luckily, this guy, this time he realizes that he has a decent crewmate, and he destroys the radiator, which exposes the core, and I shoot the core. And I know that might sound complicated. All you have to do is just go to the objective area and do whatever the objective prompts you to do. And normally you would be able to just teleport out of here back to your railjack, right? But as a new player, you won't have any intrinsics, but upon completing at least one railjack mission, you will obtain intrinsics, which will allow you to level up the intrinsic section of your railjack. And every time you level up a certain intrinsic, it'll give you a rank bonus. Some of these bonuses include extra crew members, being able to teleport back to your railjack, being able to use one of your crew members on a normal mission. But don't worry about that for now. I'm gonna just head back to his railjack, and upon heading back to his railjack, I can pretty much just leave. When you click leave the mission, it's going to tell you that you'll sacrifice your mission rewards and XP, but you've already completed the mission. Once you've seen the rewards pop up on your screen, that means you're pretty much good to extract. So as you can see, I do extract, and I did obtain mission completion, and I did get all the rewards that popped up on my screen at the end. So just wait till those rewards pop up on your screen and it says mission complete, and you can go ahead and return to your ship. And as you can see, we have 46K right now. We have 46K, and that mission only took me about 7 minutes. So if you head over here to the left of your navigation, you're gonna see a little Railjack hollow thing, right? If you head to that hollow Railjack thing and you click on it, this is where you go to customize your Railjack. This is where you go to put all your Railjack mods on. And as far as mods, you have integrated mods, battle mods, and tactic mods. But if you click on this tab, this is going to take you to your intrinsic section, right? So intrinsics can be earned by simply playing Railjack missions. As you can see, I have 265 intrinsics because I've been doing this credit farm for a minute, right? but upon completing your first Railjack mission, you'll probably only have about 8, which is still more than enough to get you to rank 1 of your first Railjack perk tree. Each time you level up one of these Railjack perk trees, it's going to unlock a new perk, and I believe the first perk is usually the best. So in rank 1 of command, it gave me access to a crew member, so I can hire my first crewmate. Rank 1 of tactical is going to unlock my tactical systems, right? So you really want to try to get this to max rank as quickly as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and rank all these perk trees up to rank 4, seeing as I have the intrinsics. The reason I don't go past rank 4 at this point is because I don't have a Railjack. I'm currently just doing this for credit farming, and plus each time you rank up, it costs more and more intrinsics to rank up. So as you can see, it didn't cost too much getting to rank 4, but if I were to go past rank 4, it would cost 16 intrinsics per tree, and I believe after that it's going to be 32, 64, 128, so on and so forth. But for now, all you really need is rank 1 of each of these trees, and that should help you out a lot. And if you need to hire crewmates for your Railjack, crewmates can be hired from Ticker. Ticker is that shady motherfucker at Fortuna that sells debt bonds. So at the end of the video, I will show you exactly where Ticker is at, just in case you're curious. But seeing as we are doing this for credits, we are just gonna jump right back in and keep credit farming for another 20 minutes or so and see how far we get. So one thing I forgot to mention is if you are struggling, and you will struggle on higher level versions of this, go to your market and buy Cypher blueprints and energy restore blueprints. Those might help you out a lot in order to use your Warframe abilities. Or if you're good with the mobility in Warframe, you can easily just run past level 60 to 100 enemies as long as you're quick, destroy whatever objective you need to destroy, and teleport the hell out of there before they kill you. So keep in mind, sometimes when you do this, you will spawn into a level 60 mission. So in that case, the same rules still apply, but you just have to be a lot better at avoiding damage. But you can still do it, just make use of your Excalibur's radial blind. So as you guys can see, I spawn into another random Railjack mission, and it looks like this guy is already in mid-battle, but he hasn't destroyed any of the cruise ships yet. So I'm going to locate the cruise ship, and a lot of times if you don't find the cruise ship is just kind of sitting out in the distance. If you don't find it immediately, just kind of wait for it. So I'm going to board the cruise ship from the back, and I'm not even going to kill these guys. I'm just going to make my way directly to the radiator, and I'm just going to hit it with my broken war a couple times, and bam, that's me all done right there. And at this point, I can use my Omni to just teleport out of here, but that will take me directly back to the Railjack. And seeing as there's still cruise ships that I want to locate, I'm going to just head to the back and exit directly through this ship. That way I can go directly through the next cruise ship. So I'm going to head to the back of this cruise ship, and I'm going to board these guys, and I'm going to hit them with the same recipe that I just hit that last ship with. Bam. And as you can see, we just took out 2 of this dude's cruise ships in less than 2 minutes. And that's going to help this guy out a lot. Anybody that has done Railjack missions knows what a huge help it is to have a good crew member that knows what to do. So now I spot another cruise ship in the distance. I'm going to go ahead and blink my way over here. And it looks like this guy is already doing pretty decent damage to it. So I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm just going to head to the objective area, which is this asteroid, and we're going to do what we did before and expose the radiators. So on higher level missions, it's going to be this exact same format, but the enemies are just going to be a lot tougher. And you can absolutely do it as a new player. You just have to have the confidence to move quick, use your radio blind or whatever Warframe crowd control ability your Warframe has, and get to the terminal, hack it as quickly as possible, and destroy whatever objectives need to be destroyed while you're in that room. And right here, I make my way inside and I quickly destroy the objectives. And from here, I'm gonna bring up my tactical menu, and I actually don't have to bring up that menu right there. All I really have to do is click R1 and left on the D-pad, and that instantly teleports me back to my ship. So now that I safely exited, I'm gonna head back to that objective area because we just exposed that radiator, and the pilot, he still has a lot of enemies to deal with in the meantime. So I'm gonna destroy that radiator and I'm gonna board the asteroid again, and we're gonna repeat the process. So I'm gonna head over here to the objective area, and I'm gonna jump up here and I'm gonna hack this terminal. And what that is gonna do is that's gonna reveal the objectives that I need to destroy. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna destroy these babies right here. And at this point, I could leave in order to destroy the second radiator, but it looks like some more players have spawned in and they have entered the objective area, so I'm guessing they want a piece of the action. So instead of going for the next radiator, what I'm going to do is, I see we still have one cruise ship that needs to be taken care of. Since we have additional teammates at this point, I'm going to go ahead and head to the next cruise ship and I'm going to take this out. So I'm gonna sneak up on the back of the cruise ship and I'm gonna board this baby. And once I board it, I'm not even gonna worry about the enemies. I'm just gonna head directly to the generator. And as you can see right here, it doesn't go too smoothly because I kind of get stuck on the geometry. But I end up just shooting it at the end and I still get the job done. And after that, I'm able to head back to the Railjack. And keep in mind, you can use your tactical menu to just teleport back to your ship at this point, but it always kind of slips my mind, so keep that in mind. So that takes care of the final Grenier cruise ship. So at this point, I'm going to use my Omni to just teleport back to the Railjack. And once the rewards pop up on my screen, I'm pretty much just good to head to my start menu and leave the mission. So as you can see, once I acquire those rewards right there, that means I'm good to just leave the mission. Even though the mission says you will lose your rewards, don't listen because you've completed the mission, so you're good to just head out. So if you press start and you click on view mission progress, you can see the fruits of your labor pretty much. And I don't even own a Railjack, but my Railjack is already ranked 28, so keep that in mind. And it would appear that the owner of the Railjack is happy, seeing as he just sent a message talking about how we are God. Or I'm at least going to assume that he's talking about us. Even if he doesn't actually know he's talking about us, he is definitely talking about us because we put in good work and we made this whole process go a lot faster. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just stick with these guys for now since we have a good crew and they seem to want to go on another mission. So we're just gonna stay here for now. But one thing I did not expect him to load up a Corpus mission. Corpus missions are a little harder, and I'm actually using a Grenier build, but at this early level, I'm not even gonna worry about it, right? So I'm just gonna hop over here and destroy the security node because that's gonna help my pilot out a lot. And as you can see, I do go down right there, but I'm not here farming affinity. I'm here farming credits, and going down doesn't affect your credit yield at the end of the day. So I'm just gonna revive myself and I'm gonna head to the Corpus cruise ship and I'm going to enter from the back. And as you can see right here, I do have a little bit of trouble entering the ship because it can be kind of clunky, but just wait till you see that enter prompt. And as you enter the ship, Corpus ships are a little different, right? What you want to do is you want to head to these 3 terminals. You don't have to hack them, but you do need to activate them. Once you activate them, the center of the floor will start rising because this big thing that we're standing on top of is actually the core. So once the core exposes itself, go ahead and jump down and just destroy the core. And it should be fairly easy because these cores, they don't have as much armor, or they don't take as much damage as the Grineer core generators. So you should be able to just dust that thing off pretty quickly. So as I enter the Railjack, I see we have been invaded. So I take out the Corpus and I equip my Omni tool. And this is how you put out fires on the ship. Anytime you see a fire or some kind of hazard on the ship, just equip your Omni, aim, and repair. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to exit the Railjack again, because at this point we can head directly to the objective area. As you can see, one of my teammates is already there and it's telling me to get to the objective area. In these Corpus missions, you can't start the next part of the mission until everybody shows up in the objective area, just like a normal mission. So once everybody shows up in the objective area, you can pretty much start phase 2 of the mission. At this point, phase 2 of this mission in particular is an exterminate. So it's going to act pretty much as a normal exterminate that you have on a normal star chart. But if you're doing a higher level versions of this, just let your teammates run through and kill everything. You don't necessarily have to kill anything. You just have to complete the sequence. And after you complete the sequence, head to extraction. One thing that's worth noting is when you're doing these phase 2 sections, you cannot use your tactical menu to just teleport out of here. You have to literally wait for your teammates to get to extraction before you can teleport back to the Railjack. So once your teammates get there, you can exit via your archwing and you can use your tactical menu to just teleport back to your Railjack. I don't know why they made it like that. They didn't make the transition smooth, but that's the way it is. So at this point, just wait for everybody else to teleport back to the ship. And once you see those rewards pop up on your screen, you're good to either stay or leave the mission. So in this case, it would appear the next mission these guys want to run is a defense mission. So basically everything we did would be the same. The only thing is the second part of the mission would be a defense instead of an exterminate. And I don't want to do a defense mission, so I'm just going to head back to my ship. Upon returning to my ship, you can see all the rewards we have accumulated while doing this. And as you can see, we have accumulated over 150k credits in like less than 30 minutes. Quite literally, less than 30 minutes of gameplay, guys. You guys thought I was bullshitting you, huh? And if you have a credit booster, it would be 300k because that would be doubled. And so as you can see, we have obtained several mods for our Railjack, as well as a good amount of intrinsics, so you can go ahead and keep leveling up your intrinsic perk trees. When you do get a Railjack, it can be accessed directly from your ship, from this section right here. Basically, if you had a Railjack, it would have an option right here to just kind of beam you up to the Railjack. Once you do obtain a Railjack, however, you will need a crew for your Railjack. So if you head to your star chart and you head over to Venus and you head to Fortuna, you should have completed the Fortuna introductory quest by now. But if you haven't completed that quest, make sure you do that before you go purchase any crew members. So upon arriving at Fortuna, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna head over here to this guy that's directly above the business. And if you talk to this guy, you will have the option to either purchase debt bonds, trade debt bonds for standing, or you can purchase crew members for your Railjack. And as you can see, some crew members you can purchase directly for resources, whereas some crew members will cost credits. As you can see, the 4 crew members at the top do cost resources, whereas the 2 crew members at the bottom can be obtained for credits. So when you do buy a crew member, the most important perk you want to prioritize when selecting your crew member is repair, because their primary function should be to repair your ship. Any crew member that has a 4 or 5 in repair, they can basically handle repairing your ship all by themselves. The second stat I would try to prioritize is endurance, because you want your crew to be able to survive, but you can customize all these stats individually also. You can also give your crew weapons and give them their own little color scheme. But next, we are going to be heading to the dojo. So, once you reach your dojo, if you bring up your fast travel menu and you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see the dry dock. Go ahead and travel to the dry dock. So normally, if you had a Railjack, this would be the place you come to customize your Railjack. These 2 terminals that you see, these would be your modding section, and this would be your weapon section. Unfortunately, seeing as I don't have a Railjack currently, I can't necessarily access these sections, but whenever I do get my Railjack, it's already at rank 28. So that's another reason why these missions are so good. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, this is going to be the Warframe Collective's first step guide to credit farming for new players. So, thank you for watching, and I would really appreciate it if you join the collective. Anyway, have a beautiful day, and peace.